your patience.
It will be shocking.
These are mixed fruit flavored. This is flavored with the
There's like strawberry, mango, and lime.
green apple, strawberry, and mango.
Yeah.
Even if it were locked by me, I'm trying to open it. But,
Probably save it, have a copy, and then work from that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you already got an answer. Mm-hmm. No. I'll call me after I said it.
Okay.
But I also didn't want to be sure.
No.
Good. And I just thought it could be.
You know what? Are you connected?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, no,
And what was happening, it was trying to open, it wouldn't open, so, thanks for your patience, you guys. I'm trying to get here early to make sure that was, wasn't going to be a problem. And it's not, have you worked with a copy that looks like that format? It doesn't have a toolbar.
Okay, it's because this
So that's yours,
where's your, you have a mouse now?
right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna close it and try one more time.
Yeah,
It's acting like a read-only document, but it doesn't say that. It's what is it?
it was down below that,
On the pop-up?
review was
Okay.
popping up.
All right, okay, we are on page. We hadn't gotten to 6.
No, we left off.
You're just starting there.
At 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Well, let's begin unless you guys have any comments that you might make or we can start.
No, I think, my comment would be that I thought we would get more and more, just, we keep going with it.
Okay, so it begins with conflicts of interest. And I felt like, obviously, the city of Bothell faced that interest. Yeah.
Is this water free then?
Yeah, go ahead. They said we could take it if we wanted to.
Not all of it, this is the bottle.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said not all the time, all the time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay.
So, you can tell that Boswell faced this issue and wrote a very extreme, a very detailed account of how they wanted it handled. So, the very first bullet on item B, I highlighted there.
Yeah,
And
well, you had the following, you have to consider must have faced the challenge. And then so non-salaried officer, I remember in our top corporation doing business are requesting money for the city. Therefore, being such an officer would not constitute a conflict.
Meaning it's not a salary officer.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't think that's the right place to draw the line.
yeah, I agree.
I think it should be a member
Yeah,
is perfectly fine. But being an officer, a decision maker, it's a conflict.
yeah. So I think that's what I had, is I remember when I had a non-salary officer put it out. And then I put in request date money or services, or I had money or services, and I wrote the word value as a question mark from the city.
So how would you?
I don't think it's,
So all city officers elected and appointed for such a term to conflict of interest. Remote interests, there's some either they don't constitute illegal conflict. But remote interest, so remote is just who the city official is.
But that's
So-
the thing, is being an officer of any kind of nonprofit organization and being a council member.
I think
So
that's
that's why that's why I agree with the cross out of the officer, but if you're just a member,
Yeah.
so cross out that, I'm with that.
Doing business or requesting money or services, if you find what Matt was saying was the value in that, I don't think it's a dollar
No,
figure.
and I wrote the word value just as a note, but it,
Or anything of value.
well, I thought money or services covered it, but I wrote the word value just because of kind of discussionary. I have a line through.
Okay.
And then the next sentence would be take out an officer.
Being such an officer or member, just such a member.
And then, of course, you take that out. Obviously, the landlord or tenant or contracting party is a no-brainer. And the others, I didn't have an issue with. That was good for that page.
Okay, all right. And the acts not constituting a conflict, you would find all of those,
Yeah.
okay?
And then I said the next one right after that.
Where I said this is information that's over.
Yeah, I put no need to include.
No, so that whole paragraph, city official may say on it, okay.
And then here's the thing is, so then we got declaration of conflict of interest, right? And I didn't know if the thing is that we have a conflict of interest and the majority of the council feels we have a conflict of interest, right? Do we have something where, we had some language in there that we can challenge somebody who talks about that. And is there something in here that we should have, or majority of the council determine if a customer has a conflict of interest and votes for recusal? But I don't know if we have that power.
For the rest of the council to, I think any council member in a situation like this could move to say, I move that council member, council member A recuse themselves for this particular reason, and I think it is in there that the council members can make a recommendation that a colleague recuse themselves if they do not wish to by a vote of the majority.
Yeah, that's, so I did see that exactly.
Okay, let's make a note. Should a situation arise.
Councilman's request for an opinion of the city attorney, which is what we kind of do is, however, one will find out the matter there must be followed, where the finding requires to not fight over with litigation to counsel the city attorney.
So I think what we should do here is under D, it says 1 and 2, refrain, should a situation arise, and then add some clarity there that says, should a situation arise when a majority of council member feels that there is a substantial conflict of interest, a motion can be made. Okay.
I mean, obviously, if somebody's
There.
the preference is that they recuse themselves.
But I do like the definition of that, which is that state law provides that if conflict of interest statute would prevent the city from acting
Yeah.
as required by law in its official capacity, or would subject the city to liability, is what I put it. Potential
Yeah,
liability,
yeah.
something like that.
I like that one better.
I don't know the rest of that paragraph. Well, hearing it, when you were in council with the apparent conflict of interest in them, that's where mine stops.
Oh. You're at, which
Was the bottom of this paragraph that we're talking about.
Yeah.
it says here, and it says, where, I'm looking at what,
Should a situation arise where a majority council
members.
of those present have substantial conflict of interest, state law requires that if the conflict of interest statute prevents the city government acting as required by law, in its official capacity, such action shall be allowed if the members of the council with the apparent conflict of interest make that known.
Oh, make them know.
And then you don't have to have the next one, city attorney opinions.
well, and then I added this, okay.
But
go
also
ahead.
add after official capacity on the, or subject the city to potential liability.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how we would want this to word this, but I just put, should a situation arise wherein a majority of the council members believe, I don't even have to have a majority, wherein a conflict of this, wherein a conflict of interest may be present, a motion may be entertained for a council member's recusal on a vote of the majority of the council, that council member may be.
You want to put a majority, absolute majority, or not?
A majority of the quorum, that's probably a better,
Yeah, because it
conflict.
doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, because if there's only 5 people present,
Yeah,
then
for
you don't
some-
need a majority of the council. Well, it's a majority of the quorum. You can tell what happened here. There was all of a sudden, a couple people decided they weren't going to attend the meeting, and then they didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't vote.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you've got a quorum, you can act.
Yeah, then I-
You can see how silly these things get, and I'm sure that's what happened here.
I think this was, if I remember right, Evans had something
Maybe
similar.
present.
3 or 4 people.
But then they don't have a quorum, so they can't.
And so, yeah.
The council members recusal upon vote of majority
Our quorum is 4, isn't it?
of
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the quorum present. They stand to be recused from a vote. Recused from the vote. Is that good? And then you said city attorney opinions you like?
I have no issue.
Okay. I didn't either.
Um,
Not sure if this is, here again, it's like almost in the weeds. So I just not sure if this is necessary. Because we're trying to condense this also.
And also this, this is our decision, it's not the city council,
Yeah.
it's the city attorneys. So it should be that it's not dispositive, it's just going to be some information.
I'm gonna
It should be
redline.
kept private until.
Okay, I'll redline. Okay. Then the whole appearance of fairness doctrine there, that's all word for word Rule 15.
yeah, and
That's all just what we already have in ours.
yeah, I thought that, I don't know, we need to change anything
Okay.
there.
Then under liability, I just highlighted that because I didn't know that which captain that the MMC addresses.
Okay. You
Yeah.
want to just do that?
Mhm.
Oh, speaking of which, remember our conversation with Tim?
I made note. Tim, yeah.
We had a conversation with Tim, remember that was my takeaway?
So I put it up here. He recommended, I have the notes.
Yeah. Just wanted to, we should have started with that, but can we bounce back just because I thought about it?
Okay, so, he said addressing the use of email. Okay, the use of email for personal use, yes. So,
He said that was valid.
to put in to
Yeah.
the council.
Put it
So-
under restriction.
Right, and
Right.
so we want to put that under communication.
Yeah, yeah.
We
That
are-
is number 7, C sub 7, I think.
Yeah.
Chapter.
Yeah, C electronic communication, chapter 507, 507. Under subsection C, electronic communications, subsection 7.
Do you have a page?
Yeah,
Oh, 507, here,
Page 13 of 74.
13, you said 5 what?
Page number, I have that,
Yeah.
2/3 of the way down my page.
Okay,
It
and
says
it's 5 what?
5.07.
507, okay. State of, I have 507, the State Public Disclosure Act, Open Public Meetings Act.
And under that, subsection C.
Okay, electronic, here we go.
And then under that, sub 7.
And the next one is consequences for violation of executive session. And then,
Oh, I didn't see anything about that.
yeah, that was when we talked to him about,
Mhm.
including, so where did we talk about?
It was,
Well, certainly should be interpreted as a conflict. Um,
oh, yeah.
Well, we haven't gotten
Oh,
there. Reaching, it's 8:07.
Yeah, we have
We're
that.
not there yet.
Yeah, okay. Just
Okay,
want to
and
remember,
then-
remind ourselves about that.
And
Okay.
then, and making sure to include consequences elsewhere. Whatever we do here needs code needs to reflect everything.
Exactly, and
I
that's.
think that's what it is. Okay.
Okay. Going back to, are we at 7 again? Or I sidetracked us?
That's all right. 30.
35. So I thought we did a really good job explaining the roles of council manager and government.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see anything. I thought I did a lot better job than our council manager had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow.
But,
And then I added,
which I
and
thought
then
was,
Rule 12 under clerk, I added the city clerk in there for 7. And we just added 7.
yeah, and I thought that, but you added information to that, and okay, that was a good add.
Okay.
On 7.09,
Well, really,
there you go.
7.03,
yeah,
Okay.
I thought we should have the budget, because it talks about the roles. of the city
City
manager.
manager shall, oh,
that's great.
Just make it.
well, this, okay, yeah, when it, make it number 8. Or I kind of think it should be, well, that looks like the number, our number kind of wrong, his number.
Yeah.
But as a,
Yeah, but it's not necessarily as a,
But it's
For
rules.
protocol.
as of the city council, city manager relationship.
right, okay. So, how did you move that?
I just put the budget, I didn't put in language, just, I thought it was missing. And I think it's, budget presentation, or, budget presentation and update, prep and updates, prep and updates, something along those lines.
Of the city annual preparation and presentation of the city budget or council.
Yeah.
And that's simple enough.
And then on 704,
Okay,
we changed it
we sure did, needs
to
review.
be each, December,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Because that was a call out of all of us the first year in
And
Wendy's,
we have a
we were
whole
doing
different-
review, yeah.
And this is where the DMNC needs to, where DMNC needs to be updated in accordance.
Exactly.
With what we decided.
So this is that's another we'll make with Tim, but it should be the annual December review.
Each year in December,
And
the
it's,
council will.
it is, yeah.
We can make this very simple, like one, if we want, council conduct a review of the city manager.
All council members are required to do a review, instead of 3.
Okay. That's going to be by assumption, the council.
Well, yeah,
We
the council,
should-
well, because we know we had.
Okay, all
times where
members, you're right.
Council members didn't provide one
The
at all.
council will will participate in.
Yes, yeah, and that's the thing, but it's, the process we have is the presiding officer send a review to the council, for each council
A
member,
review form.
a review form.
Right.
Right, we'll provide the review form. Each council member, it's a reasonable, I think Matt typically sent it out sometime in the beginning of, like, it was either early or mid-November, with an end of November
Would
date.
it be the mayor will send it out, or the attorney will send it out?
No, it's, I believe
It's
it
the
was.
council process.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be the
I
attorney.
believe Matt sent it out.
Okay, the mayor,
Yeah, I'd say the presiding officer.
okay.
Because then that covers if I can't, for some reason, you can.
Prior to the process, the presiding officer will distribute evaluation forms to all council members for review and completion and return.
Within 14 days, let's make it 14 days, because want to set a deadline. Because then, like Matt, he had to consolidate them. The truth is I'll probably use his process this year, but I've been thinking of how he had to capture those, because they had to remain public, as you know, in every question. I think there's an easier way to transfer the information to a document that has everybody's, and it identifies who they are and so forth. I'll be meeting with Tim in October about that. But
I don't want to get too detailed.
no, but that's what I'm saying is actually, this is not the process because it was 3 council members appointed by mayor showing the city conducted a performance evaluation. And it expanded somewhere along the lines that were changed to everybody, which it should be.
We've got a small council that shouldn't be.
Exactly. And so then every council member evaluates them on it's like 26 or 28 or 30 questions.
Is it a numerical in the comments? I haven't seen it.
It was color coded,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that's what I'm going to talk about is the change. But I think it's easier to do it more systematically. I just want to talk to, but that wouldn't be how it's done. To put the information doesn't need to be in the council list.
No.
The biggest thing is that it's out of respect for the process. That's why I want to give a 14-day deadline. And then the meetings, the thing is that how we do whatever the review meeting, which is typically one of the last 2 we have for the year, that's subject to what may be the other subjects in that month that have to be addressed because it's a executive session discussion, right? And
So this, I'm trying to make it super simple, not in the weeds. So, I do the reference in the municipal code 2.4.50 each year in December, which needs to be amended. But each year in December, all members of the city council will participate in the review of the city manager. Prior to the process, the presiding officer will distribute evaluation forms to all council members for review, completion, and return within 14 days of receipt.
so should we use the word require?
For what? Prior to the process, so council will participate, all in December.
Well, the fact is that if they acknowledge that they just said acknowledgement that they don't wish to participate, that's essentially their
Well,
participation.
here's the rub on that now, is that every decision that we make really just requires a majority. So for Michael's review, no matter what is up there, it's a majority of the council members. So
Yeah.
But it's not. A review is not a majority
No,
vote of
it's-
anything. It is a feedback loop.
it is, but his rating is going to be dependent on a certain level of review on that. So let's say he got 4
Yeah, but
on 4, let's say that the summary statement of 4 reviews was 4, then the majority of the council would agree that the city manager did poorly and he wouldn't be eligible for that, for the raise.
Yeah, you get a case where it was
Because then
3
they go-
boards and 2 excellents, for example, and the 2 didn't participate, then
You
you
have to say,
don't have technically
yeah.
a quorum.
Sometimes
That's why-
councils can get so petty. So you see what's happening, because in the code, his raise is dependent on a certain, not excellent, but I think above
See,
average.
I think it's required to rate it and evaluate, because that, I mean, budget, policy, evaluation, hiring, and firing the city manager.
Yeah, that is one of our main jobs, right? The budget and our handling of the city
So
manager.
that's where I
true.
say it has to be a requirement, so I think the word required should be added, that's just.
Well, and if it comes up for conversation, then it does. So what do you think, Harry?
Yeah, I think it
all
should be,
members
I think all
right?
members should
Okay.
participate in the process. I just want to make sure that there is plenty of space or room to give to come up with other issues. I mean, so if it's not on the form, you know, there should be a half a page at the back of the form saying anything else.
Oh, there is.
You know, something like that.
Yeah, there
There is.
is, there is.
Okay.
It's a pretty comprehensive, long,
Actually, you get a couple pages of essay questions.
it's, yeah.
You first have to fill it out, you first have to go A, B, C, D, like that, you do this, excellent, above average, you know, like that, you go through several pages of those kind of things. And then, and you can make comments on each of those if you want.
Right.
And then at the very end, you have these essay questions that are overall, and you get a chance to actually input.
There's
What
like
are your
other
priorities
sections.
for the
Mhm.
next year?
Yeah, I just think, I want to make
Yeah.
sure there's one here.
No, it's, and there's plenty of room, and,
Okay.
so.
But
in that
yeah,
case,
everybody should read, everybody should participate.
Okay.
It's like that, but I'm just talking functional, where those documents be plugged into a document where they,
Okay,
Do
so.
those documents go individually to the city manager or
No,
are they
he doesn't
summarized?
say. Right.
become the presiding officer,
Okay.
and then he basically
Collates it.
collates each question, and he takes the, so there's like,
So you get the- so you get
four,
the-
there's
the
four,
level.
there's 4 or 5 ratings, and essentially what Matt did, as he told me, is he equated like excellent with 5 and
Right.
like 4 or 0 or whatever. And then he would take everybody's, so all of our council members would rate and say that say the total came up to,
So you take it out.
12, I would divide that by 7, and the rating would be to 1.8 or whatever, which would be like needs improvement or something like that for that item.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then he takes the collective score of all of those items. That's why I have like, some Excel here. It would be like a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I may change it to a 5 being excellent and 1 being, poor or whatever, or there might be, or something like that, or 0. And there might be even a non-applicable, which would be a point, but they would be included in the average.
And the comments are,
And the comments are everybody's what they are.
Right.
And then those get, so the rating, whatever.
they go by name.
They-
That's what I'm asking,
Yeah,
is how
yeah.
much does Michael get individual?
Oh, no,
feedback on this?
he knows who said what.
Okay.
And every council member knows who said what.
Because, so, right here, Harriet says, speaking out of my mouth now.
Mhm.
Prior to the process, the presiding officer will distribute evaluation forms to all council members for review, completion, and return within 14 days. The reviews will be collated, I'm going to put into one document. The members of the council will use the collated document to review the city manager during the executive session.
Yeah, the only thing you might add is that the document's collated, it'll be sent to the council.
Did we, I can't
City
remember if we're
manager,
supposed to
no.
see it before
City-
our
no,
executive
no, you
session,
guys-
the collated document, I can't remember.
You guys, it's, from what I understood or remember, it's sent
It
back
says
to
in the
everybody.
minutes.
I prefer it to be, I prefer everybody
Yeah.
To be able
look at
to
it.
see it, and then it's just that.
Yeah,
so
the idea is,
it's
I want to try to give it to everybody at least a week before the council meeting, just like the notification.
Well, including Michael.
And so Michael.
Michael should have it.
I don't-
So no, Michael and Tim,
Before.
they both get it because Michael
He gets time
he
to-
gets the opportunity in
Yeah.
executive session to respond.
Mhm. Oh, right, that's right.
So I think we got the general gist of it. But what we had here wasn't what we were following and needed to change to
Mhm.
what it is today, because every council member is a council member, so they have the right to evaluate them as they see fit.
Mhm.
So this is what I put. The reviews will collate it into one document for review. I use the word reviews too much, I won't fix that. For a review before the evaluation date. The members of the council will use the collated document to review the manager during the executive session. During the executive session.
Mhm.
Is that good enough? Anything else? All the rest of this is kind of wordy. It doesn't, it just says criteria for evaluation will be established by the committee, effectiveness of its relationship, implementing goals of the city. I mean, that's 2 out of 27 things. I don't know if we need to put what the review contains in this document. What do you think?
No, I think that's fine.
All right. I'm going to line through these,
Mhm.
this segment then. So you guys are good with those words so far?
Like I said, we're gonna have a consultant and a city attorney review.
Okay.
So, and then get it to council for everybody's feedback and discussion as well, so.
Okay.
705 is one that, I don't know, what is it?
So that, I'm sure was probably a response to something that happened there. And I don't know if we've got a problem with that right now, and if we want to even incorporate something. I think our city manager is on salary for a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
He needs to be available.
Yeah, well, but we also, is according to what I understand the rules, is we're not to directly contact city
Yeah,
staff.
without permission.
Oh, city staff.
So city-
So basically, contact with the city manager at any time
Yeah.
is the way I interpret
So you
that
don't want
we're
to
doing
put
it now.
inclusive of the city manager.
Yeah, and I'd say, we could say something like preferably during business hours, except in the case of meetings. But I
don't even think, do you think
Just
that
take it
needs
out.
to be in here?
No, just
That's
take
what
it
I don't even.
Yeah, I actually think it should be in there.
Well, here's the two things. You're not supposed to contact staff without Michael's permission, so he'll tell you.
We're not we're taking staff completely out of this.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
if you take staff out of this one, then the only thing is left is you're only supposed to contact the city manager during business hours, and I don't think that's reasonable.
No, so you were saying the city,
Yeah,
city
I don't think it's-
council member contact is exclusively with the city manager.
And that's covered elsewhere.
Yeah, so.
So that's why I
So
don't think
take,
that's
let's take it
necessary.
out. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's kind of, it doesn't.
The city manager is subject to the code of ethics, that's,
He's a member of those organizations.
and that there's been literally, and then city council, city attorney relationship, I was fine with. The city council, city clerk,
That's basically.
I thought you took it out, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And then I have the one addition.
Yes,
And
and
then
I
do.
have failures to abide by the above are before that.
Okay.
What do you mean, very good?
Right here on Reagan 709 in the green print,
Mhm.
where public criticism or shaming of city staff may subject a council member to sanction.
And then we
You
have
gotta
those-
define what that is.
Well,
That's
it's
what
elsewhere in the
we want to
document.
do. Failures
Yeah.
to abide.
That's just elsewhere in the document.
You're defining what public criticism and shaming is.
Oh, no.
That's what needs to be defined. I
No.
mean, you can't,
It's true.
this can't be in the eye of the beholder.
Mhm.
That was the language she had, and I had thought about that, that's. So I think we need to, we're gonna need that one to be a bit of a takeaway.
And I mean, one of the things that I would like to see in this is that feedback about city staff, about individual staff members should be done through the city manager. You know, not,
That should be added as well.
but I think that needs to be part of that.
Of city employees. So, yeah, so Harry, would you be interested in?
Well, so that would be a rewrite of the opening paragraph possibly here. It says here,
That's where I,
work through the city manager when dealing with services in no manner directly and indirectly
yeah.
influence, criticize personnel matters,
Involve
individual
personnel.
members who are under the direction of the city manager. So you could
Yeah,
add,
all feedback about individual staff
Yeah.
or just all feedback about individual staff could be in a sentence. Shall be done
Directly with the city.
directly through to the city manager.
okay, do you feel is that one sentence good enough? Do you feel like there should be anything else there here?
Yeah, I think it just, it's sort of the affirmative statement that goes in that, with that sentence. How do you do it other than saying, don't do this, this is what you should do.
All right.
And
So maybe that covers the.
It covers the below.
The
Yeah.
below thing, if
And
you've
then that
got
can come out.
something, if you've got a problem with the city staff, the activities, production, performance of city staff, anywhere, it goes directly to the city
Yeah.
manager. Okay,
And so I think that takes care of what we have there. 7:10, is that okay to move on to, or are you guys still on 7:9?
Yeah, on 7.9, the public criticism, Jamie, we think we can take that out because of the first.
Yeah, because that does a better job of clarifying it.
Well,
except for you don't have this, what we talked
No,
about.
exactly.
No, but we also wanted the, well, we subject to.
Yeah.
Sentence about this non-interference
No.
part, and what I could put in here is, maybe, it may subject to council member to sanction, well, the word subject
It
to,
refers to the other council, yeah. You
Okay.
just say failure to do so may be subject to the sanction explained.
Well, but I still don't think you
Okay.
can sanction somebody for defying.
well, and that sanctioning of a city council member is not an individual action by the mayor either.
No, it's-
Were you here for the council, for the committee meeting tonight? Okay, good. I
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
sure.
the other building.
Just making sure that you weren't looking for the police department.
Yeah, no.
So,
So, clarity on this. So, that sanctioning isn't gonna be something that only one council member can happen. It will have to be by a vote of the majority of the council, isn't it?
yeah,
So whatever the subject is, it will be determined in the discussion, like, well, was there really public shaming, or was there really?
Tim told us that there has to be public,
Mhm.
right?
So not a private conversation.
Not a private conversation.
You can't
Council
just
member and
sanction,
individual.
yeah, you can't just sanction somebody privately.
This would be where, basically 3 or more members felt it was necessary action, just like we would have in new business. And then the process would be, like, we talked about something like a public thing, and then a vote, and it would be official, then a second incident of similar nature, vote, and then it could go to censorship. If we laid it out that way.
So whatever the activity was, it would be determined in discussion.
Yeah, so,
It would have to be a determination of, if maybe one person says, well, I think that was
yeah, it would be
humiliation.
a process that would be, by the council as a whole, determining.
Yeah, you,
I feel that, Harry.
because I think,
Keep going.
yeah, I'm trying to articulate.
Because I asked if there could be, if there was like because I asked if there could be, like an email, hey, this is a violation of council rules, I said, that kind of thing, for conduct could result in further sanctions, et cetera. And he kind of gave us the indication that it would have to be public, which is unfortunately true. And that would be where the motivation would have to be several council members.
Yeah, and I understand the motivation, I just think there needs to be a pretty clear definition of what we're talking about. Because it may be that, a council member disagrees with the wording of an ordinance.
No,
And, just saying, hey, I want to put this up because I don't think it's
no,
fully worked out.
Yeah, that's not, because that would be a violation of council rules, that's a difference of opinion
okay.
in a discussion. I
Mhm.
mean, people have the right to dissent. It would be if they took action. Say a council member, marches into the city council or city staff, one of their offices, and berates an employee, right, in front of everybody. We all hear about it. We feel that's a violation, and then
Is that public?
that would be brought up, publicly discussed,
there'd be a
No,
discussion.
it's gonna be the public criticism. If I go to somebody's office and say, hey, you screwed up, that is a criticism. And even if they can hear
Well, we
it
just,
plainly because of,
well, we just had it all aspects of things go through the city manager.
yeah, no, that's where it should have been. I'm not saying, I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm saying, but you know, even that situation to me is problematic because there's a real question whether that's a public criticism or the council members trying to give a private criticism to the staff, which they should have done through the city council.
But it's still, so
The
the
city
thing
manager.
is that,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
The
but
distinction.
they violated 7-9 by not going through the city manager,
Mhm.
regardless of whether that was public or not.
But it's 7-9, doesn't say violation of 7-9 is subject to sanction.
So maybe
Well,
we should
we're-
just do that.
We're in the second section, we're in 7-9, where we talk about it being subject to violations could be subject to sanctions. This is the thing.
Oh, this is part of 7-9. I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So, or you can say any feedback regarding individual staff should be done through the city manager, public criticism and shaming of city staff.
Can be subject.
It's not, well, it's not, and then we just put,
Yeah,
you could just put, go to
it's not.
the end, go to the end of this, 709, last, violation. Thing is, when it comes to the sanction section, violation of any of these items is subject to council members. We could not vote, so maybe we don't need to specifically say public criticism.
That's a question, I guess we could look at Tim, and, I mean, you are, the attorney said that we have.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm saying if you're gonna have a specific, if you're gonna have two specific things that'll subject you to sanctions, which is how this reads,
And
then you need to define what those two things are.
And I don't know, I think, I just think that, council rules themselves, you know, violations of council rules, no matter what it might be, could be, you know, listen, we kind of say that where it's subject to sanctions. And then, but my point was is having a formal process, because I think it's going to be one of those things that will be determined by obviously the council as a whole, but the process of how that's handled in a public format.
Yeah, I understand the public process piece
But
of it.
the details of it, I mean, it's going to be everybody's determination of the council rules. There's no way we ever be able to spell out
Right.
specific examples.
Mhm.
And we just say in the spirit of the rule,
Mhm.
it's been violated here. I mean, that's the best I think you can ever get.
Okay, but I don't think we call this out separately.
Yeah.
Well, how about we do this?
Yeah,
And that's good, that's the valid point, I think you're right on that.
maybe
We said it. We said it
You
earlier.
could add it to the sentence about any feedback. What if you wrote that sentence like this? Any feedback, criticism, or correction regarding individual staff shall be done directly through the city manager, and public criticism of staff by council members is inappropriate and not acceptable. And then you take this other sentence out, and if we just find out that is happening, then you bring up the sanction based on the principles of sanction, which is in another place in the document.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Is that a little more
I
clear?
think
You want me to,
that's-
and I read that out loud fast, Harry, would you like me to read that again?
No, I followed it.
How do you feel about that? It covers the,
What I do is to make it consistent with the last sentence of the first paragraph that we
Okay.
just added, is public criticism or shaming of an individual city staff.
okay, so
So
read
that leaves
it
the-
cohesively for me. Read it for me.
All right,
Help me out.
so, feedback of an individual city staff should be brought through the city, should be communicated through the city manager.
Okay,
Public criticism or shaming of an individual city staff is
inappropriate minute.
inappropriate.
All right,
Okay.
all right, good, I'm gonna take that other sentence out now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
okay?
Good.
That Hadley 710, 711, 712. You had this in the status report, maybe preparation summary.
Yeah,
You
and
got
I'm
that
just
from
wondering,
where?
so we're on
712.
712, third paragraph,
Yeah.
and I highlighted staff support may include preparation of summary agenda after the approval by the chairperson, preparation. And I wonder why that would be something that is under review, but do we
Yeah.
even need, well, I guess it's another thing. Some of this gets to be pretty tedious.
I didn't think we needed it.
They
I don't
can
think
do
we
what
need
they.
detail.
Mhm.
It-
This is staff support for advisory bodies. We can just decide what works.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think, that's something ultimately the city manager decides.
Well,
It's what is the staff involvement in an advisory body?
And I would say, typically, the chair of the committee, with conversation with the committee, you might be going to city manager, hey, we're going to need this X and Y for support. Yeah, we could do that, or we can do this, but we can't do that, but we could do this instead, or whatever.
So you want to just, so I think you can take that out.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have anything else in 7?
713, that was, anything in green was pretty much added from.
Yeah, and I thought that was okay.
Okay.
And then on 8, they only, 801, just changing 7 to 6.
801, 76.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then unless otherwise noted or notified, because when we did the budget study session, we started at 5, it was notified,
Right.
right?
So I just think it's just at 7 PM, and if it gets changed, it's noticed. Or
Or
6
6 p.m. Well, I said, should we put the language unless otherwise no?
No, because we just do it anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, because that's how it is on the website anyway now. It says what it is and then it gets changed.
Exactly. And I had, you recommended wording that allows remote meetings such as unless otherwise specified allowed in the revision code. And
Because that wording right there is what a lot of cities are still using right now because of COVID, and that's.
well, I
but
think
I don't know.
we have to have it because I think it's okay no matter what, now we have a process because we've had a pandemic, whether we had earthquake or other natural disaster or say another pandemic, we have a process. So the remote, a perfect example was where a city council member attended due to he had COVID, which the best thing to do was to not attend. He attended phone. We learned some things how to do it better, but we want to be able to have the remote control. The thing is it would be built under those kind of circumstances. We want if they want to participate, it would be remote, right?
Yeah.
Like when saying in your situation, if you requested to be attend, we would have accommodated you that way.
So how about we put something like under declarations of emergency, meetings may be held remotely.
Yes, that could
And
work.
then just,
Well, it doesn't have to be limited to a declaration of emergency, because there's always the individual, but an individual council
Well, now
member
the
can participate.
No.
this is about the meeting schedule, so not,
Right, so
because
we're not
there's
doing
another
that.
segment there that talks about that, council members can
Okay,
attend
yeah.
remotely if they're ill. So this is addressing just council meetings.
Yeah, I just think I think you could say that there may be, we don't even have to say declaration of emergency, there may be circumstances where a meeting may be held remotely. And I don't know if we say that the preference is they be public from the chambers or whatever, but.
Okay. Let's see, I'll put here, council meetings may be moved to alter.
Man, there's some snacks up there if you want some.
Oh,
Okay, it's good stuff, you should check it out.
Oh, okay.
You can't get rid of it. You can't wear
All I want is your opinion on it, if you try something.
How about this? If council meetings are
And there's,
Is that at the
there's
discretion?
some over here too.
remotely,
Don't be shy.
And is this at the discretion of the presiding officer, or?
you know, in accordance with law, I think, I don't know what the laws are, you know, that laws that are taken under declaration of emergency and don't even enforce, I think what happened. So how about,
Yeah.
how about the council meetings?
It's otherwise specified or
Are
allowed.
conducted remotely,
Unless
in
otherwise.
accordance
Yeah, accordance with.
with state law. They will be noticed publicly. In advance, notice publicly in advance. Also for, you know, but, the council meetings are moved to alternate locations that connected remotely. In accordance with state law, they will be noticed publicly in advance.
And we'll notify it as far as possible.
Well, no, it has to be for sure at least
24
I
hours.
don't-
Or, yeah, see that,
Yeah,
at least
and
24 hours.
publicly, notice publicly at least 24 hours in advance. Okay, you want my computer is dying.
We can,
Is that in this,
no, but what we can do is that,
Just move it closer to the
let's remove the tape.
I thought, well, maybe
Here,
it'll
you can grab that
last.
side really quick. No, we gotta lift up because we don't want to go here. And what I'll do is, if you want, I can switch you where you're closer to the brush.
Okay, that'd be
Okay. You were there.
so nice when that electric.
I'm going to begin because I can't hear.
Yeah, bring it over here.
Just grab it. Tracy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Well, how can I make Tracy's here? Can't stand me.
Knees. Okay.
There we go.
You're powered up. So I think you have that, the other one.
So what did I say? This is how I said. If council meetings are moved to alternate locations or conducted remotely in accordance with state law, they will be noticed publicly at least 24 hours in advance. How's that sound? Are you clear about that area?
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna just. No, we have these notes in here, but just cross them off. So you can see. Okay. We good to move, keep moving?
Yeah, and then as we, so I think that covers the
Okay.
Table 2, the green additions, the only thing I notice is in the city's official newspaper, and I put the city's official notification process,
Oh, okay, where is that?
which, includes the website. I mean, now
Oh, yeah. the city-
no town newspaper anymore.
Yeah, so,
Unfortunately, there's a lot of us that miss that.
yeah. Okay,
You know.
so you said, what did you want it to say, Lynn? Yeah.
Just say the city's official notification process. Which the website is at, and then they can notify it through other channels as they can. I think the official newspaper is actually the Seattle Times. But what they try to do is
if they'll do it there, but if they can, they'll do it on a website, and they'll do it out through like the blog and other social media pages, just to try to get more people.
All right.
Special meetings, Rule 8 in its entirety.
Yeah, station has at least 24 hours. And this was another one, we refer to the official notification process, because they have businesses, in the business office of each local newspaper and radio and television station, which has
That's
a written
D.
request.
No, that's
So it's C, and it should say business office, and the reason why I said media outlet is because, which I think could take them all, instead of local newspaper, radio, and television, we just say media outlet, because look at the water on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, media outlet is,
Right?
Business,
It's a better word than all of these listing them out.
Of each media, of the official media, or just
I would just
each,
know,
well,
so it's just
of
say each media outlet, that, which has a business office and files a written request. It doesn't
Yeah,
change it,
that's-
it just
no.
shortens it to
Exactly.
encompass them all.
Good, good answer.
Because according to the rules right now, I don't know if Scott Schaefer technically could do it, even though he's live by it, right?
Right.
But that takes care of it. And then,
did you put it in here according to the noted rules, or is there something?
Well, RC, it says here, where it introduces it, RCW 42-30080, and then the other one 42-33.
on the Open Public Meetings Act,
Yeah.
so
So it did refer to that.
essentially, other than that, that's our rules today.
Okay.
It only changed that to update it to the modern times.
Well, then it also begs the question, then should it be posted on the webpage and be, like in social media
Well,
because the last one we put in, was the city's official notification process.
yeah.
Should we put,
Well, see, the problem is, official media outlets all qualify,
well,
but, I know they try to do the bigger pages just to do them, but they can change, or what happens
Right.
if Facebook goes away because it dies or whatever, because
we got a few years before we have to worry about that.
nobody cares, right? I don't know, if you were gonna put that language in over D.
Where do you want that, Harry? Which,
I think it's part of C,
Okay.
either by mail, by electronic.
Or, these are 1, 2, 3, or personally teach council members in that.
Person. And just a general reference to the city, we have an official notification process, correct?
Yeah,
Yes, so
they,
pursuant to the city's.
yeah, they're done in accordance with the RCWs, for Open Public Meetings Acts and the notification process. And that's obviously the city clerks.
So what you're saying, Harry, is there's nothing in this item that says that it should be posted on the website.
Yeah, I think the website is a good addition.
Okay, so
Media services
It
and.
typically is, but let's state it.
shall be posted on the city's website and, how's that said?
Yeah.
Posted on the city's website and delivered by mail, blah, 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 blah. Right there, how's that sound? And delivered by mail by electronic mail to an address designated by the receiver in the mail or email, or personally to each council member, the city manager, business, blah, 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 blah. How's that? So I added it right on the very top line. The notice shall be posted on the city's website and, okay,
Works.
all right. 804 is basically low money.
Yep, I did have an issue, I like 805 as a general request to staff. Recordings and broadcast meetings.
So this is, I just added Rule 36 into there. 35 and 36 together, I guess combined them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot what we have already.
So what this does is this does not require video recording right here. It just says audio.
Well,
And so I don't know if we want to
should be.
deal with changing that. Or at this time, we don't really, this has been an ongoing discussion for a while about which meetings should be video recorded. And Zoom
Well, I
is really
think
easy.
shall make and keep,
Recording, just
I
recording.
think recording, keep recordings.
So what did you just change there, Matt?
But that's where audio.
I just took out the word audio.
Keep recordings, there we go.
And we could say video, audio in parentheses or something like that, behind it.
But except for, okay, so here's the thing, of all meetings of the Des Moines City Council, which our committee meetings are meetings of the council, it's not
Yeah, the committee, but like
There.
ad hoc like this or something like that. So yeah, let's just say, well, shall keep recording, but like an ad hoc, we're not required
No,
to
no,
take minutes.
and our other committee meetings right now, well, we are working on, I think, are we gonna always have all of them down in the council
Well,
chambers?
the intent isn't, from what I understood, the intent is to get cameras into a couple of the sub-chambers, and do them there.
But for now, everything is in
Yeah,
the
keep the lots of-
council chambers, and so they are audio recorded
Audio and
and
video.
stored.
So, yeah, I'm fine with
Okay.
having, I mean, I think the major committee meetings and the council meetings should be.
Well, there's standing committees.
Yes, the standing committee.
Standing
Well,
committees.
we can just put, right now, we could just put recordings and, or do you want to just go ahead and put video, the word video there? What do you think?
Well,
What do you think?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should include video.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you could say recordings to include
So,
audio and video.
just, is,
Are you thinking of a when possible, or you want to say, yeah, it needs to be video?
Well,
that's what I'm,
Yeah, I
that's
was
what I'm
debating
saying.
when possible.
Because according to the law, I don't think video, I don't know if video is required. I just know everything has to be recorded and stored and available for distribution and the minutes need to be available in, according to, law. So right now, and of course, this is probably going to come up to discussion from the diet.
It's probably-
We'll probably get lots of, so at this point, why don't we just put the word recordings in there and then wait for the discussion
Yeah.
on the hash out?
okay, that's
What
fine.
do you think
Today.
for now?
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
Just put it in? Okay.
I think we have a consensus
Yeah.
amongst us three that, yeah, it should be
Video.
video
Okay.
recording.
Why not put it in and then,
And then let
when we debate
somebody
it out.
doesn't want it, they can say, let's debate it that way. Okay, good.
So far, I wouldn't know anybody that would want it.
Video recordings of all meetings of the council, which all meetings is not just city business meetings, but it's committee meetings.
Well, yeah, I think we say that.
Except
Except those meetings or portions of meetings conducted executive session,
Or unless the motion-
ad hoc,
Maybe gets added.
Or meetings conducted in executive session or ad hoc.
I like his word, all standard business meetings.
Well, except for the business meeting is our council meeting, and then the committee meetings are standing committees.
How about
That's what I'm
standing?
saying.
Standing committees. Okay, so this is
That's fine.
all standing committee meetings, all standing committee and business meetings at the council. How's that? All standing committee and business meetings of the Monroe City Council, except for the meetings or portion of meetings conducted in executive session or was and I don't know if you can do that because you have to record by law. So I don't think you can vote to do that. I don't think we should give ourselves a.
I think there are two exceptions to it, and that's executive session and maybe an ad hoc.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is
I don't
that,
even think we should mention ad hoc, I think, because that, an ad hoc meeting will not be a standing meeting.
Okay.
yeah, so we can just take out our list motions past the September 8th.
Yeah, I don't think that you can.
Yeah.
Well, you could, but then you
Well,
probably
just
should be
keep
in
up,
violation.
maybe they were thinking there could be the potential that there may be, for some God knows reason we can't think of,
Yeah.
but, no, I'm fine with it, let's leave it like that.
Okay.
I think that's a consensus we
Mhm.
have right here.
Recording, so
And
everything
then, yeah.
available, blah, blah, blah.
And then, yeah, I thought that was okay, and then,
Where are you?
what's that? Now I'm on 807.
807, okay, great.
And it's just the components of a business meeting. I don't think we
So
need to
there-
condense it, because it's,
Yeah, it's pretty, it just gives it, here's
yeah,
a general order of how we're gonna do them. And you'll notice that just because what I did read up a little bit of the order there. So take a close look at the order. So it's call to order, roll call, correspondence, comments from the public, board, committee, and commission reports. There. What I did is I added back in by recommendation, see this one,
Yeah.
my recommendation that we split board, committee, and commission reports from council member
yeah,
comments, which then are at the end almost like a good of the order type activity. And so I put those at the end so that during your comments is where you can have a chance to comment or add to what has happened in the meeting. But your board and committee reports, they're not going to change based on what happens in the meeting. And that's the time when you can, that's when the presiding officer's report would be good, and that's also when the city managers, it's everybody's reports.
yeah, I don't,
That's
for the meeting in the business, I found that, we do the board committee reports at the end typically. The thing for trying to move the meeting along as effectively as we can for business, I think it's, for the brevity, it's better to do it with those, but the possibility that if you're a chair of the board, maybe we expand. It's like when public comment happens, right? So people get 3 minutes, but if it's an organization, they get 5.
Right.
Right? So that might be a better way to do it, where that gives a couple extra minutes.
Or this is the time to report out on standing committees of the council. So it's not if you're on the SDA executive board, or not if you're on, serving on something else around the region, but this is the time to report out on the standing committees of the council, and it's reserved for the chairs.
Okay,
So what do you think about that?
Well, let's leave it there for now.
Okay.
Like I said, it's about the efficiency of the meeting and stuff like that, and time is the only issue I have with it, but I'm not opposed to it. Let's put it there, it's the council's meeting, so let's decide. I think we leave it there, and we can have that discussion then,
And then
whatever the consensus is, I'm cool with.
ceremonial matters. So sometimes what we do now is we always By permission of the presiding officer, I'd like to answer from here. Let's just make a spot. If we have anything ceremonial, it goes there.
So here's a situation though, is usually those are done in after the consent agenda.
Oh, because of proclamations?
Yes, so it has to go after the consent agenda.
Okay.
Is the only thing. And then, you know, and we've got where, you know, if it's best, like we've got all our officers there for some kind of recognition, and we need to move them up first so they get, so like where I move the city manager, at least a half of the section up to do something so they can get back on the streets, right? So having the ability, you know, we will still want to keep that because it's worked well.
Yeah.
It hasn't deterred from what we're trying to do in the media. It's just allowed us to be flexible to meet the needs, or if like somebody's coming from someplace else, and we're respecting and valuing their time.
Right.
You know. So, but I think the general order. This isn't, like I said, it's got the flexibility and it's not written in blood. So it's just what we agree. Right?
So I moved it then. I put it down, I put it underneath consent. So I moved ceremonial matters to I.
And I think that's fine. And then, the city manager report and presentations and briefings are kind of one and the same.
Yeah, he usually,
So,
yeah.
you know, I think they come out of the city manager report.
So maybe just eliminate presentations and, I'm trying to think, it's kind of redundant. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree. Take that out. City manager report. So now we have comments in the public, board and committee, possibly reports there. That's my pitch for that. I just wanted, you probably heard me with this before, but I feel like we work so hard. You know, I work hard, you work hard, we work so hard. And I feel like sometimes there are some things that I spend hours and hours on and I never talk about. And nobody really knows about, other than I guess maybe because I report maybe back to you or back to Michael, maybe it's something about Skip. And honestly, I have to admit, I mean, who in the public knows about Skip anyway? And so if I give some report on that, it gets to be in the weeds and pretty tedious. But it is a whole lot of stinking work sometimes. And I feel like it's honoring the work that we do to let the community know that we're doing that work sometimes. And so I guess I'm not asking for, 15 minutes every council meeting, but just to have, I know what I do, and now you can see what I'm doing. On my board and committee reports, I say, I do all this stuff. If you want to know about it, talk to me. And, I have to pick and choose where I'll go months and months and not even mention a bunch of work that I've maybe done.
It's the same. A lot of appearances I make for times I don't do it.
I'm talking about you too. You work really hard now. And, I know that we like to have an efficient council meeting, but it's nice.
But I do think there should be a point in the council meeting when you do at least just check off, not a long explanation of it, that you went to the skip committee, that you went to this, that you went to that, that you made an appearance here, and I think that is worth doing, so people do understand.
Here's the thing is, this is where I think we can work it out for the flow of the meeting is right now we're 4 minutes, right?
4 minutes to cover everything that we do,
That's what I'm
and
saying
we have
is-
an opinion on something.
And this is where, be prudent, but maybe extend it a little bit. I don't know, whether it's 5 minutes, right? 6 minutes, right?
And the other thing is that you've got this assigned business that you do, plus answering for your actions. That's why I like the time. That's why I do appreciate council member comments at the end of the meeting, because I used to give account for my vote during that time. I'd say, this is why I voted here. And it was super short, but it was like, this is why I voted affirmative for these 4 consent items, because some people wanted to know. And here's the thing, maybe it's not that very many people who want to know, but it's the people who are watching. And the people who care would like to know.
Yeah,
So-
like you said, it all what I'm learning as presiding officer is I'm fine with everybody doing it as long as the brevity and conciseness is there, right? Because I think sometimes we can lose people So a couple of the first ones would go, and then.
In general, just a general comment on a council meeting.
They get turned off.
Council business meetings everywhere are really just a bunch of sleepy people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the council meeting itself
Well, I think,
is
this is the thing, is I think we got a good general order here.
Okay.
You know.
Not that many people in the community
And-
per capita.
And I'm sure that our counterparts all have an opinion too.
Okay, you know, I just had to give it my old one too. You've heard it before.
And so I think we're okay on that.
Everything
page.
else?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then the next page that we move forward, which is D, comments from the public. And I think this was fine. There was just in rule, like 8 down there.
Rule 8.
4464. It said public comment with regard subjects must take their comments, and it was like.
I think I must.
Public comments with regard to subjects must make their comments during the public hearing.
The typo there.
Yeah, So
It's rule 20,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
Yeah.
public comments with regard to subjects.
It just didn't make sense.
Okay, I know this makes sense. What am I trying to say now?
But it is, it's the difference between the public hearing is presented during the general comment period, the speaker will be ruled out of order. So we're gonna have a quasi-judicial hearing later in the meeting and the public comments, and the guy gets up there and goes, don't build that building, you know, I live next door, I hate it, and I have to go, stop, I have to rule you out of order. I go, sir, you have to make that comment
During the public hearing.
during the public hearing for the quasi-judicial situation. It was just the language of it. It's the right, it has the right information, it's just
It was confusing, no kidding. I
Yeah.
said, Ben Sleepy, public comments with regard to subject of a public hearing must be made during the public hearing. How's that sound?
yeah,
Read that.
and I think we're okay
Must.
there.
Must be made during the public hearing portion of the meeting, if information pertaining. Okay. Okay, there we go, I fixed it.
Good.
Okay.
I really didn't have any other issues. And then so this is where we get to the board committee reports, and you said the report should be limited to 4 minutes unless extended time is granted by the presiding officer. The presiding officer should know, and this is where you brought in the board and committee reports, and this is the thing, if we do go with board reports, right?
And it would just, yeah.
How about we do something like, if we do that separately, then
It's just the chairs.
the chair and can we do it 2 minutes or can we do it 3? I don't know. And I think we can just, there's a number here.
And I agree with that. I agree. I just think council members who work hard out in the community, advocating for certain
Yeah,
subjects should have that.
but it would be, like I said, it's the standing committee.
Okay.
I want to make sure that, I think that's,
So, if you want to say board, commission, committee reports,
I think we
opportunity
just say-
for chairs of standing council
yeah,
committees.
make it standing committees.
Chairs of standing committees of council
You know, and then, okay, say we say 3 minutes.
to update just update it's not just update, well, is it update the council, board committee
Yeah.
activities, work on other items of interest. And do we put in, where's the time?
It's down on 3. The report should be limited to 4 minutes. Let's make it.
3, yeah, 3.
Make the
totally
number
3.
3. And then, like I said, then it leaves the comments free for everybody.
And, you know, what, and I would give a pitch on this, to just eliminate 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and put 3. This is an opportunity for chairs of standing committees of the council to update the, time limit, 3 minutes, you know.
Yeah, I
3
think-
minutes, and then
I
eliminate
think
all of
that
those
would be-
things,
Yeah,
all of that
Yeah,
is just in the
compress into
weeds.
that. That'd be fine.
All of
I think
that
that's
is
a great
weeds.
suggestion.
I'm gonna just,
Yeah, and two chair, vice chair, because if you don't have a chair there,
Yeah,
vice
exactly.
chair.
this is I'm gonna put a 3-minute
And it's an or, yeah.
opportunity
So
for
that's fine.
chairs of standing committees to apply and take out all the rest. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Ceremony matters, proclamations, and recognitions.
So the proclamation, that's fine. Spirit of Des Moines, we
We have just not even done that.
well,
I'm wondering.
COVID killed it is really the problem, and I think we need to bring it back. We need to.
Do you
recognize-
honestly think? Okay. I mean,
Oh,
it's,
I think it's important.
It's-
You look at
yes.
when we did have it, we were able to recognize people in the community that made a difference, and I think it's a good thing.
but sometimes we do it just like what the police department did for Nadia.
Well,
And,
yeah, but I think,
I think having a more formal process is a good
Okay.
thing, I think.
and I
alright.
think it's one of it was, I think it's a, my vision has always been it should be an ad hoc committee run by the
Once a
deputy
year.
mayor.
once a year, is that it? Once a year?
Yeah, and it should be, the ad hoc committee should probably start like in August or September
Mhm.
with an award presentation in December.
In December, like around.
Like
okay,
the last,
holidays.
like one of the last meetings, make it the second to last, because especially in a year, a transition year, where people might be ending, you obviously wanna, where the council members are leaving and get their chance to say, but if we did it like the first meeting in December, not the second,
Okay.
when we were doing it,
It is a sweet thing. It seemed like it was so much work. That's why it didn't get done. And so-
well, no, the biggest thing is we
Just
couldn't
haven't
do
done
it because COVID prevented us from having the meetings that we would have been able to, it was just not felt that it needed, it was one of those.
Yeah, we thought
Whether
I thought you kind of got a little invigorated.
Yeah,
That was part of it.
It
we got better attendance, man, that's for sure.
did. You guys want some snacks?
So-
We've got
so-
snacks up here. All right.
So anyway, yeah, I think it's just, there's an appendix on it, and I think it says the deputy mayor, but I think it's, I'm even fine, I don't know if the presiding officer has to, or the deputy mayor would pick.
I think it's fine for the deputy mayor.
Yeah,
Whether
I
I
think so.
am that person or not, it's, I think it's, I am a huge cheerleader of this community. I think you guys. know.
Yeah.
If I got the chance.
So the thing is then you would select 2 other council members, and, what we used to do is include, members of the public, and that ad hoc committee
Yeah.
would recommend some committee members of the public to come in and it was like, we just did
So I
a
can
meeting.
do it.
Yeah, so you got to see it,
Yeah.
and then, and we just kind of say, this is the body of it, and we go and we'd like, you to come with a couple of names, and then we talk, and we just had like really, the one year we did several because we were filling in a couple past years.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is that they're doing like 3 awards for the year, like a recognizing a charitable organization, recognizing a business, and then recognizing a community leader.
So what it says here.
And that's in the appendix of what the awards are. And I think that was, I pretty much had a summary, I might have it just
Okay.
slightly wrong.
That's,
somewhere.
and we might even want to, well, anyway, I think it's good to grab some of these things and make them into platform.
Yeah, so.
Okay, I agree. Good job.
So the appendix,
Fine.
and then, keep it that way.
Mhm.
And I like the idea, because, let the deputy mayor do it, and then they would do organize the presentation too and all that. And then,
And I wonder if we need to describe special presentations, administration reports. Do we need to describe all this stuff? City manager report?
yes,
I do want to talk about city managers.
Okay,
So-
let's do that.
Yeah, I mean, I had the idea, we had a little back and forth last time. What if there was just a dashboard of things that we expected, we wanted to hear every meeting, like, number, to be determined what that dashboard is, but, business licenses. How many new businesses in town this week? And that's an opportunity to promote them a little bit too. You know, so that's kind of a nice thing to do. You know, so we kind of have a dashboard of, you know, how the city's doing, without getting into the weeds on it or making it a big.
I remember for a while there, everybody in every department was putting together a slide presentation.
Yeah, that could,
Those two things.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would
use
say,
it on, but-
I would say like, maybe it could be that, how about this as an idea? Like, because you could hit different subjects throughout the year, and maybe there's a calendar on the first meeting of the month, or something like that, where a dashboard presentation. We still want like quarterly financials.
Well, in other words, in
Yeah,
the form,
this
when I
isn't to take the
say,
place of the quarterly financials and stuff.
But yeah, no, I mean, so the thing is that, yeah, it could be, a first of the month where the police department goes 1 month and gives some kind of thing, and we're throwing out ideas here. I would say the next one might be Public Works, the next might be Parks and Recreation. I'm just thinking of something where, we don't, it won't,
No, because
I want to make sure our staff can do what staff needs to
I
do.
agree, but part of this, I think, is important for people to see the city working, to see we're doing stuff all the time. And, you know, there are some measurements of that can be,
And to not make it so burdensome on them.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, I think it's a good idea, maybe.
I think it's a
strategically.
discussion to come up with what that actually is.
Yeah.
Well, you just go, like, maybe have parks do something, do theirs, and not, like the end of September when the summer's over, and
Well,
when you have the police do theirs, you know.
Well, you're right, that's what I'm saying, is it timely, like, Parks and Recreation does this in February, right before the spring sports start or whatever. And they do it in the fall, right before the fall sports start, or whatever activities. They may do 3 a year, where they might do one with the summer activities. I don't know, but I think, I'm not
But
opposed to it.
I think there just needs to be some regular information that everybody knows to look at that time to see how we're doing.
So here's my takeaway on that, I think, is that's something we can all talk about and come up with ideas and maybe even kind of a look and feel when we do bring it before council of this is kind of what we're visualizing, maybe shop it around. We can shop it around with Michael and stuff like that too.
And then, but I also, and then, you know, in addition to that, there needs to be at least an outline of the subject matter of the city manager's report. We don't know what's going to happen. That's not a good way to run a meeting.
So when you mean that, so like in the current version, he says budget and he says police or something. What do you want in addition to that?
Whatever else he wants to bring up. I mean, it's still his report, but, you know.
No, but I'm saying.
Frankly, it should never have been a surprise that he was going to do this whole deal on what
economics?
Yeah, the economics thing. You know, you should have known about that in advance. Everybody should have known about that in advance. And, you know, it should have been attributed to Vic in advance that he asked the question, and it's going to be addressed in that report.
So
that was nonsense.
And
it wasn't a good look for the city. So you just, what do you want to talk about? Make sure that's part of the agenda that everybody can see.
So my thing is that I think in the spirit of it, it's the ones that are prepared. Now could be issues that come up past notification date and things like that. It's like I didn't notify you, this came up later, kind of thing. Yeah.
And that brief explanation of it is just fine. You know, but it pertains to city business and is a proper subject matter for the council.
So we're asking for two things. We're asking for
A dashboard.
a dashboard and kind of a scheduled.
I'm
calling it
department's report.
Department report is I think the better word. And then basically an outline
of the subject
of
matter.
the CM subject matter. Not a problem.
With the this came up and I wanted to address it here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The idea is to get the line, get it on the notification.
Yeah, and there should be, and you at least should be aware of that because you put together, this.
Yeah.
You know, I assume there's going to be, between the presiding officer and the city manager, a little discussion of the propriety of the subject matter.
That's a different story.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No argument there. I think that's. I think we'll put some.
But I'm trying to frame it more as positive than a negative.
No, and I don't take it that way.
No, I'm just trying to make sure it gets out there as this is a good thing to have. You know, so we know what's coming.
Well, exactly.
And this is information that people might want to see. You know, I encourage people to come to the meetings.
Agree, and I love. I'd like to know that. Like I said, okay, so the first of the month, right? We know in March, June, September, we're going to get a Parks and Recreation report.
Yeah.
And quarterly, we're going to get finance reports.
Yeah, we know that, and et cetera, but there's where they have the opportunity to share what's on the forefront coming in the next season is the idea. Okay, that we'll put that in there.
So, do you feel good about that, Harry? Moving on. Okay, consent agenda. So the matters of business that require action.
Yeah, what are not consent agenda.
So here again, I'm wondering, do you think 1, 2, and 3 are in the weeds?
Place the matter. No, that's
Because, like, for example, number 3, I move adoption of this consent calendar. I mean, we conduct every other item on this order without saying in the protocol manual how you have to say.
Yeah, I don't think
You know what I mean? I almost you don't have to say in the protocol manual how to make a motion for it.
I don't think that needs to be a
yeah. I think the 1 and 2 are okay. 3's.
Okay. And it says over here, the clerk shall read the subject of each consent agenda item. That's standard protocol for every city everywhere. So here again, I don't think that needs to be there. And
okay. Yeah.
and here again, 1 is a detail of matters of business that require action considered to be of a routine and non-controversial nature. So, do we want to, if we begin to enumerate, previously discussed, vetted by the administration, so routine or technical passage, do we want to highlight each of those? If you guys do, that's fine.
I mean, I think routine and non-controversial in nature is the proper definition of what should be on the consent agenda. But I do think that it should be in city manager in conjunction with in consultation with the presiding officer.
Yeah.
Decides what really is on that consent
Okay,
agenda.
and so I can put that sentence in with the top. I'm going to be looking for ways to condense this, right?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing is
It needs to get down to somewhere around at least 60 pages.
The only thing is that some of this where we have it and it works, covers some details. I don't know if there's necessarily needs a change. The document might be longer, just the key components that we get.
Okay.
I thought, like I said, we were all looking around at different council rules, and you came up with the Bobble one, and I thought it incorporated so many of the other situations. So, well, even though we pinched from several cases, to make our document, maybe we're the document that other people start to pinch from, but of course, we'll just be, like a college student or.
So this
would be pretty much on everybody else.
So this is what I put. The city manager, in consultation with the presiding officer, shall place matters on the consent agenda that require action by the council, which are considered to be of a routine. You see what I did there?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's
Routine and non-controversial.
Yeah. And several council members have reached out to me and what they think shouldn't be, and I hear that, and I'm representing that interest. But it's never a perfect world. And the thing is that no matter what on a consent agenda is any council.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
So what I think might be something. In fact, it was I had an eye-opening experience about an explanation on one that was pulled, and when in discussion, I was like, yeah, I would have never looked at it that way. You know, but now I do. You know, so we evolve and change and adjust as we go. So,
Okay, you
so
think that's good? I got
Yeah.
consent agenda, so now there's no numbers under there, it's just a general description.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The public hearing, I know you said it's extremely detailed, but I think
It's parliamentary procedure, and so, and it's nice for the presiding officer to have this right here, but, so it's really up to, I think Matt really liked it there.
yeah, I think I'm okay with it because it's something that takes care of something and clarifies stuff, but it doesn't really need to change because it's not broken.
That's true. I think here again, just for for condensation, I am wondering, for example, Anne may say, you know what, you guys should just put this.
And that's all
She does that.
So let her say that, or Tim may go, you don't need this, it's already here, or whatever. I mean, that's the thing is, we're doing this,
But I think it's good to have a great deal of specificity in what goes into
I have,
a public
yeah,
hearing. And what kind of public hearing.
yeah. I
We're
appreciate-
differentiating between several different kinds of public hearings.
yeah.
Yes,
And
okay,
I read it. I read that stuff through before in my prep, you know, to make sure I'm as aware as I can
right.
be.
So you can tell that is a word for word insert from Rule 21.
So,
That's okay.
yeah.
And then I added 18 from Bob, you said.
Yeah, so that, I was okay with that, I thought that was good. And then we moved down to ordinances. Now, here's the one that's gonna be controversial, because we always have I believe, ordinance 2, A, and we get into what was 26A, right? Or is 26A now, where we require all ordinance shall have 2 separate meetings. Now, I've had council members come to me too and say, should we just do away with 26A? And the consensus would be, if we feel it needs to go to a second
Have it
hearing,
to touch, then you could just motion it.
then you make the motion that way, rather than the other way where we're doing it now. And I'm kind of the meaning of the fact that I would rather do it, is do away with 26A, and if the majority of the council feels that it needs to be brought to a second one, and any council member can bring it to a motion saying, I think we need a second week, and if there's a consensus, they get it, and it gets moved to the whole business the next following month. We're all going to have different opinions, and it's going to be probably a good discussion. This will be a robust discussion, but I know that there is interest in going that way rather than always having to deal with the 26A issue. Because we're all determining, no matter what, every councilman is going to determine, is it going to change? Is anything going to change if we take it to another week or not? And we all have to make those determinations anyway. So, but what it does is take that process where it becomes the other way. It's like, it's not dealing with 26A in the meeting, it's dealing with should it have a second reading.
Yeah, and the thing I like about that is every time you make a determination to override 26A, it looks like you're maybe doing something wrong. And I like that every single thing, when we make a good decision, it looks like a good decision and not like, oh, we somehow broke the law. It breeds a little bit of mistrust. I like the opportunity of every council member who wants a second reading to shine in that desire, and especially if they get a consensus, then it's like good for that person or good for that person, instead of it always looking like, that way every single decision always ends up moving forward positively, instead of a bunch of them end up looking like, well, we broke the rule, we broke the rule.
yeah, because it looks like it can often look like you just gave yourself through.
Yeah, and so I like the idea of, if you want a two-judge rule, make somebody move it, and then you get it, if the majority wants it. And I don't see.
No, but ideally what it's doing is it's just burden shifting. It's, if you're, ideally under 26A, if we're going to move to waive the second reading and move straight to a vote, there should be some justification for it, and we rarely get a justification for it.
Say that again, would rather
there should
be a
be-
justification for
waiving.
for suspending two-touch?
Yeah, sort of suspending the two-touch. I mean, it's just not been a regular part of the meetings as to why.
Well,
Why
a
are
lot of
we
times
doing
they've
that?
been touched already in committee, like
But
all the
But
committees.
that's not my point.
Uh-huh.
My point is, it's a public meeting, and if we want to avoid, like we're just jamming, it looks bad, then it really should have been justified. But that's part of the reason is nobody's seeing the justification for withdrawing the two-touch rule. The burden, what you're proposing is shifting the burden to
Why it should be.
why it should be a two-touch.
Two-touch.
Instead of a one-touch.
And that's my point.
And
That's what I'm saying.
And I would prefer it to be a two-touch rule that has to be justified to waive it to a one-touch, but I'm not.
Well,
It's not a real huge deal to me, but I do think we should be consistent, and I do think we should avoid the perception
Constantly suspending.
constantly suspending the rule because this is just the way we do things. Because that's how it looks to a lot of people.
the thing is that, in what I've seen is, in most cases, the council, everybody will state their opinion of why or why not, it should be suspended or not. But that's, like I said, like you said, it just shifts the burden where what we will all really think should be a second review does get a comprehensive discussion because there'll be a motion made to extend it to the following meeting. I think for flow of meeting it does, but it does, like you said, it makes us look like we're doing wrong when a lot of us there's 7 opinions there and we all have different ones, but we're all making the determination, is this really in city business, is it worth the time to wait another week or not? And everybody's got the right to argue the point. It's working the same either way, but I just think in many cases, I think we've had stuff where it's null and mute to try a 26A, have that in there because it's part of the ordinance requirements, where I'd rather have ordinance that are worthy of 2 views, getting 2 views, and everything else that might be more mundane, not needing it. And we all make that determination.
I think, let me kind of have some examples here. The recent stormwater inspection ordinance that we had to have passed, and we didn't, and it was brought to us without enough, we either asked the driver or it wasn't going to be done at the time. I mean, that was a very good reason for waiving it, because we had to get this done. And it took a while for that to come out. I mean, that wasn't apparent, but I think the discussion kind of kept after it, and eventually it did come out. But this is the reason we have to waive 26A tonight to get it out, and I think that was a perfectly justified reason.
So,
I want to
Yeah,
make sure he's done and then I have a response.
Yeah, that's right. The other one that comes to my mind because it's my personal favorite right now, is the parking ordinance. Is there really wasn't a good reason that had to be passed that night. There just wasn't. Yeah, we all want to get going on getting rid of the car, the junkers. But 1 week wasn't going to make a big difference, and it was just it really felt kind of jammed through because this is just the way we do it. But there wasn't any good justification for that, and I really think putting the burden on the this is why we have to do it now rather than waiting a week, makes for better legislative policy and better perception from the public.
So, to the first one, some of these things, those answers are in the packet. And so when you're talking about the wastewater thing, that answer you said that it took a while to get to, the reason why it took a while to get to from the podium is it was already in the packet. That answer was already there. And that happens sometimes. Okay, but now in regard to the parking thing, I'm 50-50 on that. On that kind of thing, I think my question would be, if we didn't have a 26A, would we move for that in that case? And that's where I consider it, because
thought her to the fact that we pass a lot of ordinances where we don't suspend 26A. So why is that? It's because the staff brings forward things that they feel are, sometimes actually they can put them on consent. But it's, either they feel pressed or they feel, it's tedium, or they put enough in the packet and they want to get on with business, I think. Now, I think government is really slow. I think it's a frustration of the public. It's not a frustration, it's frustration of the staff. So I think sometimes they feel like, let's get this moving on down the road because we have other things. And do we really think that there's going to be an opposition? So I think for me, a lot of times I think, if we didn't have 26A, would I want to enact it right now? And I always vote in accordance with that. Would I make a motion? So, go ahead.
No, so I was just saying, I appreciate your examples, Harry. And I thought the first one, without 26A, that would have gone through, you need to go through, end of story. The second, like the parking one, that's where I think it's a council member's responsibility to go, hey, I think this needs more time. I think we need our residents to hear more about it, make a convincing argument, and then if we get the majority of the vote, then it gets extended. And like it is a shifting of the burden. And no matter, we put it in there, and we just had an urban conversation. What that tells me is when we bring it before the council, no matter what it is, it's going to have a fervent conversation that we're all going to talk about, and eventually we'll come up with a decision. I know just in speaking to a couple of other council members, they showed interest to do away with it and reverse the order. So I think our thing is that it's we leave it as it is, but we're gonna have a discussion point about whether it's there or not.
We can even put it in there, should we or should we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
What goes to the council should be, we've identified this as a
Discussion
issue for the council
And I think it's,
as a whole.
and I agree, and I think that's the best point there is that, look, there's been discussion whether we should do away with it or not do away with it. It is to take it out, right? And not have it included in would be a different story. I'd rather have, let's talk about it, figure it out, and then whatever the majority of the council decides, we move forward with it. So I think we've got that pretty good, at least for now.
All right. You feeling heard? I want to make sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I thought, excellent points there. This is just going through the list that was tied to the letters.
This next one?
No,
But you knew what you
list, the order up here, wasn't it?
The ordinances, resolutions, proclamations, that one?
No, so wasn't it here?
Ordinances, or the ordinances, unfinished business, new agenda items for
Yeah.
consideration?
No, it's, okay, so in the beginning, when we were shifting some of the letters around here in 807, it's just,
It's not
all I wanted to
matches
say
that.
is make sure they get matched, we gotta make sure they get
I'll make
matched
up a
up.
note. and make
Yeah,
sure it's gonna
that
be
was
well,
it.
Stuff like that, especially the stuff we passed out.
I mean, this, obviously we have 5 minutes, but I think,
We can extend that. by-
well, I think we don't really, let's power through the 64 or 64.
We only have till 7, I thought we said till 8.
No, it was 5 to 7, I believe, but, I mean, we can do it.
All right, so hang on, I'm just making another note about what we just talked about.
We got some good discussion, that's what it's about, and what this tells me is where the discussion's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
We do this because this is gonna
That's good, we can
be,
do it.
this is gonna be one long ass meeting. Right? And,
If it takes just the three of us this long to get through some of these things.
this is the thing, everybody gets it, in advance, reads through, obviously we'll try to focus on the parts and sections as best we can. But, yeah, it could be.
And of course, Ann is going to have her,
Well, that's the thing.
Tim
is-
will have his input.
Exactly, so, I mean, there's a lot to be done before we can get this out.
Okay,
to the rest of the members of the council, because we're, like I said, we're just in the middle stage here.
okay, so you saw that I kind of combined 808, the study session,
Yeah.
I used
And then,
Bob's
okay,
intro, and then just inserted our.
and then after a proposed council study, the work has been approved by the presiding officer, worksheet has been approved by the presiding officer, a copy of it along with any supporting materials, if available, is all I had.
Where is that, number 2?
It's number 2, yeah.
A2, prevent copy with any supporting materials if available.
Yeah. Because in some cases, some of the
Any
supporting
available,
materials.
I'll just put any available supporting
Because the
materials.
study session, the design of it is to have a discussion about it. You know, where we want as many of the materials, but not always are they ready, or they're waiting for something, or something's coming in.
Okay,
Okay.
I added that. Anything else, Harry?
No, because the general,
Yeah. I guess a little, as available, creates a loophole you can drive a truck through.
okay, well,
You know,
the thing was is
and there really isn't any enforceable phrase, because you could say best efforts or,
yeah.
that's,
I don't know what it is. I just know that it's with any supporting materials, and it's not always going to be there. Is my point. I don't know what the right words are. You know, our hope is to get as much of it as we can. But we can't expect that. You know that in a study session, a lot of times no matter what, we're going to be introducing the material for the first time, and they're working up on it till the last day. You know, and
Or
it's-
if it's an invitation, if we're having an invited guest, they
Yeah,
might just
so-
bring a slide presentation with them. I mean, that happens too. You get
Yeah,
somebody
we
who
don't
comes
do
and
that.
then,
and that's why I said, that's why I put available, if available.
and then stuff is available after the meeting. I mean, typically across the region, that's how it is for almost every board meeting I'm in. So people come, they give a presentation, they say the materials will be available after the meeting. Yeah, almost every board meeting is like that.
I participated in a number of those meetings.
Yes, you have.
So,
Well, if you have a better
Well,
suggestion,
that's
if you get an aha moment.
you get an aha word and tell us. I just put that because it was defined, definite, and I know it can't be.
Okay, 809, moving on to order of business, general procedures, forms of address.
Fine, you brought in other good comments. You have for the purpose of, is this Ian qualified?
as memory avails.
As memory.
As memory makes available for the deputy mayor,
Yeah.
He's teasing you.
Sure.
Anybody else? It doesn't, yeah,
Yep.
it's just hard to.
I'm just fortunate that Matt makes that mistake once or twice before I ever do, so I got
Oh,
my
my.
money.
Well, you go for you just call me a council member, and then, and I hate it. I hate when I do it, but
No worries.
it's okay. I get, then Marco Gianni goes, oh, council member. Oh, I didn't even correct it. I just said, yes, I'm good to see you, Mike.
So, assigning of documents, quorum, a lot of these are inserts from our
Yeah.
established rules, any, remote attendance. So did you guys get a chance to look at that? I highlighted 7 and 8. Remote participation for each council
Yeah.
member shall be limited to one council meeting in a calendar year. I don't know if that's how we,
So,
a lot of councils has,
Well,
councils who haven't had that.
yeah, the reason why is that they allowed one phone call, because the idea is we meet in person. But in this particular case with COVID, right? If I'm testing positive for COVID, but I don't feel the symptoms, if I did, you become the presiding officer and I attend remotely, right? But if somebody does, like the example where Gene was, right? He attended, but one, they get paid for the meeting, and two, that's not it. This was where I think their spirit was like, they were trying to make sure that you either were there or you weren't. But occasionally where they're, like, at one point in the year, they were trying to cut off. So I think Louisa Banks is on vacation.
Well, she had her.
She had knee
Or no, she had
surgery.
knee surgery,
Yeah.
and it was an important issue she wanted to do, so she took one time. I think, but they were trying to do it because it would be somebody, and I think Nutty did one when he was on vacation, and called me. As a presiding officer, what I learned is how difficult they are to manage, but we have to,
Well,
right?
And just a little bit of feedback, you know, when you go, I think you go to the mayor's meetings, I go to the deputy mayor's meetings, it's councils that have gone ahead and just allowed their members to attend remotely, it's just kind of falling apart on them. I
Yeah.
mean, people are just like,
Yeah.
blasé, you know, it's like, it turns into not that big of a deal, it's not a priority.
So-
I don't think it's a good look to the community if you begin to just allow council members to attend
No, I
without
think-
a convenience.
You know, so
So you gotta have something.
I agree. I think we need something. I think there needs to be a limitation.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't, this is my thought. That
Yeah.
I can't.
Pitch it in.
Yeah, I would remove the one council meeting per year. I think that's too tight. But I
Okay.
think that they should be allowed to participate remotely, for good cause or family emergency, or, you know.
Do you want to?
I don't know.
So,
And I think that, you know, sort of raise the level of what is the excuse for attending remotely. You know, illness, good cause,
Yeah.
family emergency, those kinds of things. I mean, you know, if one of our parents passed away and the funeral was going to be, you know, somewhere else, that to me would be good cause.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think that's a problem. I can't imagine the council would have an issue with that.
so should it be at the will of the council or discretion of the presiding officer? And then I can be, so say,
Well, I think the presiding officer should basically present it to the council as whether, you know,
Yeah.
the recommendation.
in advance as much as possible. I mean, I've had where,
And what I'm suggesting though puts Jeremy's on vacation in a little bit of jeopardy.
I would agree. But that's where they, in the past, they had the one phone call. It didn't matter where they were or what they are, and I think we still give the one.
Okay.
But I think the addition that requires,
More than one per year if you want to keep the one in
Okay,
there.
let's see what it said. A council member may participate remotely in all or part of the meeting upon prior approval by the mayor for the following: medical reasons, family emergency, unexpected travel, not a vacation.
Well, you can't get prior approval for family emergencies.
No.
And
Or, well,
so I think that we take out the prior.
let's see, upon approval, we'll just put upon approval. But if this is the case, then why are you asking for our approval for?
right now it's the mayor.
He presents it to the council when somebody's absent for our approval.
Anybody on council that says, Matt, I tested positive for COVID, I'm going to attend the meeting, I want to attend remotely, I'm going to say absolutely. Right?
And then you would present it to us with a recommendation.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a bad example, but I'm drinking at a bar and I want to do it and I don't want to be there, and I'm going to no.
Still want to.
Here, I go,
Now the problem arises is, you know, I'm in Yellowstone, and although was that planned in advance, you know?
well,
I mean, there might have been enough time.
Well,
So we could say, okay, that's fine, you can do that.
this is your one time.
We could have said this is one time, or we could have said we can give you prior approval.
Yeah, but I would,
I mean, something like that, you know, at least that, there is some time to plan for that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about situations,
You just don't want to take advantage.
I don't want the guy at the bar
Right.
that says, Well, how would you have to drive there?
Yeah,
In which case
yeah.
you probably shouldn't be at the meeting anyway.
Yeah, and I don't care how bad somebody might need your vote. No, that's unacceptable behavior.
Maybe you could say this, you know what, number 5 covers the rest of these things. And for unanticipated events that prevent the council member from attending a meeting in person through no fault of their own. See, number 5 kind of covers emergencies, unexpected travel, medical reasons.
Yeah.
So you could say,
Contraction of COVID.
exactly, what would you think about that? You'd say, may participate remotely in all or part of the council meeting, and not put approval there, just put, for unanticipated events that prevent a council member from attending the meeting in person through no fault of their own. The council member may be formally excused by a majority vote of the council, or are we going to take that out?
Yeah, I didn't do that in.
Okay, so the council member that may then be formally excused by the majority of the council? That's what we.
I mean, it's a requirement. It makes it.
In this case, the
Yeah, I'm doing that.
council member will be formally recognized as oh, they won't, it may be, or should be, because you don't know they will be for sure. Formally recognized. I'll put it this way, in this case, how would you word this? Used.
Anybody else want water all over here?
I'm good.
JC?
Granted by
I like that one, actually. I think it's,
Okay, how's this sound?
Black.
no.
A council member may participate remotely in all or part of the council meeting. Look down here. If they, for an unanticipated event that prevents them from attending the meeting in person through no fault of their own, a formal recognition of an excused status may be granted by a majority of the vote of the council. A majority vote of the council. Okay, I will take out all the middle words.
And the one thing I think that if you attend a meeting, and because we've got such criteria for accepting whether, or approving whether people are going to be there or not, I don't care whether it's, if they attend the meeting and they're authorized and approved, they're going to get paid.
Okay,
You mentioned that, and we had an issue, and when I understood the situation, I was absolutely that they should be paid. We've had it where, like, it's not, but if they're taking time wherever they may be, or whatever situation they are, and they're attending the meeting, and it's approved by the council, it's paid.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
okay, so here's, it's still all in the same paragraph, and actually, it's only 2 sentences. A council member may participate remotely in all or part of a council meeting because of an unanticipated event that prevents a council member from attending in person through no fault of their own. In order to receive compensation for a meeting, a formal recognition of an excused status must be granted by a majority vote. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. if the basis for the remote participation is due to attending city business in their capacity, the council member shall be considered physically present for the purposes of data in the city form, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't think there needs to be
The other part
the,
there.
about the mayor. I mean,
Okay.
it works the same way.
Yeah.
And yet,
Yep.
All right. There we go. Then I'm going to eliminate 7 and 0.
7 and 8.
Yeah, eliminate 7 and 8. Can you cover that?
Yeah. And
Earlier.
then in 9E, they'll qualify for compensation.
For purposes,
If they attend the meeting, they qualify for compensation.
participating with. So I think I just eliminate E, right? For the purposes, yeah, I think I just eliminate E, because that's the case of the question.
Well, you put it there, but yeah, I want to make, I just wanted to make this. Like I said, no matter if they do attend or not.
Line through those. All right. I think we're moving right along here.
Yeah. I
54 of 64.
didn't, yeah. I was okay with G, H. I was
G
okay.
and H, good, okay. Must
Do you
be
need to
noticed
extend?
the police.
Oh,
yes.
7:13, I make a motion to extend, but go no later than 8 o'clock.
second.
All in favor? You're feeling.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, there we go.
All right.
Okay, so we are on page 55. Any comments, questions, notes?
Okay, so that red page.
Oh, okay,
It's
8, 10.
9.02, is you put wondering the amount of details necessary to get the job done.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute, I had on 8.1, open public meetings. Act.
8.10, yeah.
Yeah, special advisory board.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
In the open public meeting law applies to city council, quasi-judicial bodies, and all standing boards. Okay, so
And then put 6 on.
So I just put, we noticed. Okay, so that is a special advisory board.
yeah.
So we don't need to notice that.
It's
So that's why
it's a
I-
select group and committee.
So that's why I wonder about all of making all of these part of this. So applicability, the open public meeting law applies to all standing boards and committees of the city council. Because that advisory board is for the police department, it's not a standing advisory board of the council.
No, I think that's.
And advisory boards, okay, what about human services advisory? And they are not of the council because they don't have council members on.
Well, that's-
And I'm only a liaison, I'm not on
The
the.
idea is
so I
that
can
they
do
make
that.
their independent recommendations,
Exactly.
so we, yeah.
So
And the whole
to
process is.
quasi-judicial standing or special, standing, well, let's just put standing boards and commissions of the council. How does that sound?
Sure.
Boards
Mm-hmm.
and commissions of the council. If you want to add clarity, meaning that includes, or standing with that, that contain council members or something like that. Or, I mean, would you consider Human Services Advisory Board or appointed if they're not standing? Okay, so we're just going to call this good. Boards and commissions of the council. I'm going to put a period there. And so, because they do not need to be noticed. Okay, we have to check on this. So I'm just going to eliminate that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the meeting and the KDA requirements, just redundant state law.
Yes, it's true.
And, you know, so we might just put in the local compliance schedule for.
Under Open Public Meetings Act?
The Open Public Meetings Act, ADA requirements.
Yeah, so you're saying probably, this is already done, it probably doesn't need to be in accordance with. So just have one short paragraph that says, the Maine City Council will comply with.
Yeah. Yeah, the state and federal law, actually.
Yeah, state and federal law. Yeah, but right here.
And the other thing I see is the actions. And again, I think that's pretty redundant to state law, and the legal actions that of the council, except for public meeting. So there's special meetings, public meetings, and they're the same requirements, as long as they're properly called, so.
Yeah,
Do we really need it?
I don't think so.
Oh, this is a limitation on public meetings is limited to the agenda, whereas a regular council meeting, you can act on
Take action on those, I only those appear on those agendas.
Yeah, I think,
We can leave it into an act, Tim.
yeah, okay.
Oh, really? Okay, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's subsection D of
so,
8.10.
okay.
I think we can just leave that.
Leave it there and then.
Okay, so let me finish this. And,
It's weird that you get, now it's getting dark so much faster.
Lose at sunset.
There, I mean, of course, we had some minor little ones for the last few
Well,
months.
that's the one I sent you.
I know, but
That's a really beautiful sky.
the one on the first slide of my presentation I took when I was down walking the marina, still one of my favorite.
That's already been, this is,
okay, so this is what it says. All right, it's got shortly all through. A, the Des Moines City Council will comply with all state and federal law in the notice, conduct, recording, storage, and dissemination of meetings and associated information. Actions, no legal action may be taken, blah, blah, blah. I just copy and paste, and that's all. Okay. All right, chapter 9.
So this is the thing, so chapter 9, the city council will review and revise the city council protocol manual every 2 years or as needed. One of the things we need to do is, and this is the thing is, you know, should we review it? Because like we had the newspaper and we had antiquated terms and stuff like that should be eliminated no matter what, even if they don't change the body of it. The only thing I would say here, just after I read it, was, you know, the presiding officer or the mayor will appoint an ad hoc committee to initiate the process or something like that.
Okay?
You okay
and
with
make
that?
recommendations. Yeah.
Yeah.
There may not be, I mean, maybe the recommendation, maybe we don't see anything that needs updating.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, is, it would have been nice if we'd have gone, yeah, they did a great job. Change,
I'm holding it up for that.
change audio to audio video, you know?
So, yeah, so you don't want to appoint an ad hoc committee for TDM, to just change up one role and change a date or change.
But what it's saying is we'll review and revise, So it's just
As needed.
Well,
Review and advise, not revise.
yeah,
Because the revise is done by the council.
revive.
But you can advise as to any changes needed.
I just,
And there may, if the advice is no changes are needed.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I was just, like, when I did the ad hoc committee thing, that was under my authority, and it's still there, but I just didn't know we wanted to put it here. It might be repetition, but do we define it that way, or? Because, I mean, but that's in alignment with how we do committee appointments and so forth, so that's one of us thinking.
So, you can put, upon a decision to review and advise the ad hoc committee will be appointed, or if needed, an ad hoc committee may be appointed by the mayor. of the place. How's that?
That's fine.
Or if, and ad hoc committee may be appointed for the purpose of review and advice. Okay.
Yeah, let's leave it,
Leave it as is and
leave it as is for
advice.
now.
Okay.
Because it's somebody else's, let's see if it, the legality of it,
Yeah.
you know? And because the city attorney shall, as protocol advisor, the city attorney shall assist, I think that's okay. It's got the process where yeah, and but I'm not sure why this was added. It cannot be a situation where it applies that hasn't already been addressed. I think it's a clarifying statement, and I'm talking on 5764, it's on
Okay.
905.
No, I don't do that.
Accountability, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Yeah, I think we can take that off.
Yeah, I think we got it.
You know,
I was kind of wondering about that too.
Yeah, I just had a question mark by it.
Okay.
But, so, on leaving office, return of material and equipment during their service, right? I just put the question of, what if they don't? You know, like,
Well, and the other thing is,
keeping classified documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, technically, there are rules that deal with that. I mean, laws
Yeah.
already to deal with that stuff, as there would be with keeping a computer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it'd be theft
So I think-
of public property.
So, yeah, so they're, I just didn't know.
and really, if they don't, the consequences are going to be all over the map depending on what they
Yeah, I
catch.
mean,
Yeah,
but if they've left the council doesn't have any
Yeah, we no
jurisdiction
longer.
over their behavior.
Exactly. After that, it's
So
illegal.
after that,
So
it's
you want to-
illegal.
So you answered my question. I just didn't know if we had to put, we
Yeah,
should put
see,
something
that's-
there.
I mean, I think it's good to say the effective retreat,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't get to keep these things, we
Yeah.
didn't give them to
Yeah.
you.
you check your book out of the library. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, no, shower court, I should tell.
This is what we do when we have, we feel it's cumbersome application process.
This is that whole
Yeah.
application
Yeah.
process for filling.
You know what though? I mean, this is one of the
I mean,
toughest
it's
things
kind of-
we do.
Or did, you know what, this might be nice to ask Bonnie or Tara, because really what this comes to is this may be sent when we say we want, and it might be nice for them to not have to reinvent the wheel every time, and if they just, all they have to do is follow this, they might appreciate it, but they might go, wow, this is like too much.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing that's missing in this application process, and there was a question about that, is that, you know, when you run an election, you don't have to file your financial disclosure until you've won the election. Do we want a financial
I thought
disclosure?
I had to file my F1.
No, so
I'm getting it so long ago.
Yeah, I asked Kevin about this because some did, some didn't. And he clearly said, I mean, the thing is that most people, we can suggest that they do, but they don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have like, I think it's 30 days after the appointment or whatever to complete it.
Mhm.
But we can't demand it, is the language he told me.
Well, we can come up with our own requirement, we can't require F1, but we can say that that part of the application is at least that you declare anything that could be, you know, a conflict of interest with the
Yeah,
city,
and that could
or
be
your
that-
financial
that could be
holdings within the
valid.
city, or something to that effect. You know, as it relates to the city, we can put a requirement on that is in excess of what might be required by state law.
I mean, in my opinion, yeah, if I was gonna be applying, I'd be doing it all, because I don't want to be fully declared. But,
The one thing about this versus other kind of job applications is when you do that, it's all set in public record. Well, I could apply to Amazon or Boeing or Microsoft or something like that. And the only people that see it are the people that I'm applying to. But if somebody has to, if we're gonna ask for that, everything that they put on there, we're asking them to tell the
it's all
girl.
publicly.
I guess that they really, but I guess that they really want the job. It's like, well, if you want this job, it's gonna, you're gonna have to do this anyway in a few weeks.
And,
So-
yeah, it could be,
And I think if they're applying for a job, they're applying for a job from the citizens of the city as represented by us. And so, you know, it's not an unreasonable ask.
Yeah, they're saying, I want this job and I'm gonna do this anyway. So I guess they shouldn't really have an objection to having.
I think we can recommend they do. If they don't, then that could be one of the limiting factors in their selection.
Or you can ask about it, you know, it's like,
Well, the question is, can we require something? And if we can't, do we recommend that they do so?
Yeah.
And take that into consideration.
well, good question, and you can tell, this is a good topic for discussion.
So, yeah, and I think, you know, I'll chat with him again. I'm pretty sure he said we could require it
Okay.
until after the appointment.
And Matt, it's okay if I talk to Tim about it, and do you want to talk to him?
No, you can, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, no, it's like we agree, some of the stuff's take home, so if you want to talk to him, fantastic.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah, I
very,
mean, when I applied, I included my F1 in my
Yeah, well,
application.
most people
Because I think it's important to be there, but
I completely agree.
I don't know that this last time around that everybody did.
No, not everybody did.
So,
So I don't know that it's that common, but
Yeah, and I think it's
it should be. I mean,
well, you know, in some cases, you could have people that, you know, previously filed or whatever, and you have information, you know, but I would want to update it myself personally. But if they didn't, then you have to make that determination.
yeah.
Is that a big enough roadblock or isn't it?
So, and then, but it does get into weeds here. Right here, number 9, for example, prior to the date and time of interview, the mayor shall accept one interview question from each council member. And then if we, or as we decide, I mean, do we want to put parameters around this exact specific way of interview this, or are we going to give each council down into the future the option of doing how they want it?
I don't know.
I think each council should have the option to do that.
How they would
Yeah.
prefer to do
How
that,
they
exactly,
prefer.
because this is very
Yeah.
specific sounding, and then this would bind every council.
Yeah, I think,
to-
yeah, the council, you know, shall determine what the interview process is.
Okay,
Because this is where we're gonna open it up, we're gonna discuss how it's gonna go, you know, obviously, as the presiding officer would say, this is kind of the general layout I see, everybody could input their input in, the decision's made, you know, as a majority, and then that's what's executed.
so in regards, so this is beginning that, you know, right before the interview meeting and the interview meeting, do you want all this detail in
Never
here?
just,
And we just say, city clerk's office shall notify applicants of the location, date, and time of the council interviews. And then somehow somebody, I think the only thing that maybe
say-
doesn't even have to be here, but
just say.
they will be notified of the process.
Yeah, exactly, and then the interview meeting, the presiding officer will outline the basic, you know, or will provide a basic outline for the interview process, subject to council discussion and, you know, majority approval, you know.
Yeah, the only issue that I see with council approval of all that not dictating it is it probably then takes a little bit longer to get to the interview.
Yeah, this is something where,
You know, it's a pretty good trade-off.
I mean, yeah.
Discussion.
I mean, the thing is that I would, you know, the notification process, maybe we have it the meeting prior to the interview process. Maybe the interview process is formulated or finalized by the council. You know, something like that.
Yeah, well, do we put that in the rules, or do we let each council figure
Let
it
each council, you're probably right. I think.
out? Yeah, it just takes a little longer to get to the interview than if each council's got
Yeah.
to figure it out. But I don't know that there's one process that works for
And
for all
like,
either.
like for us, we didn't, I mean, who would have thought we'd have been doing the process with COVID
Yeah.
and virtual,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So all our situation changed from the one previously. And
Mhm.
it was different from the years before on another one, and et cetera. I think I agree. I think it's best for whatever the council at the time decides.
So what I put there then is the city clerk's office shall notify, this is number 8, B, 8. The city clerk's office shall notify applicants of the location, date, and time of city council interviews and instructions about how the interview process will be conducted. And so that will just have to be, she'll have to work that out either with the mayor or the council at the time.
Yeah.
They'll have to, staff of the council will have to give instructions to the clerk will tell. And then at the interview meeting, so what we are saying is we're not even going to put the interview
No, so
meeting section
what
there.
you would say is the interview process will be determined
Interview process.
by the council in a majority.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know exactly what the language is here, but it would just be something where, that's what I was saying is, I was trying to give some kind of template but maybe not, where somebody starts it by laying an outline out for discussion, but they'll,
But somebody will start that thing and they'll find out anyway.
yeah,
So the interview process will be determined by a vote of the majority of the council.
yeah.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, because, we didn't limit them to what we tell them. Or, you know, who knows, they might have to amend the council protocol and rules to do what they want to do, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, this is
now
all-
that adds a process too, and it's another delay.
Okay, so how about, and I crossed all that out, How about voting on the completion of the interviews? Do you want to do the same kind of thing, like leave it up to the
This-
discretion of the
This is more
protocol?
protocol, so I was okay with this, because all it's doing is, the mayor shall ask for the nomination of the council for the purpose of creating a poll. It just goes through that process. The interview process, we leave up to council, but this, I think, stays the same.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Leave that
the
in.
only thing I would, so,
You
yeah.
need to form an order, it's under parliamentary procedure B, rule 18, and so you have 2, 3, and 4 are right there. It needs courtesy, interruption. So it's under customs of formality, so it's 1106.B, parliamentary procedure. Customs of formality, then you have A, customs observed by members, so I do have a couple of little things there. And usually mayor, so
It's
keep going
65 to
down.
64, that's why.
Yeah, so you know what, keep going down here, and just keep scrolling, and it's after the glossary of terms.
Right, that's right.
And then keep going,
Down there.
1106B, parliamentary procedure, and then A, customs observed by members. And there's just a little sentence there, deputy mayor, council members, and then you keep going
And
to.
right on the following page,
Rule 18
Rule
is,
18
yeah.
is right there.
right, that's right.
Okay,
Okay,
so what do you think, so you wanted to make a comment about
well,
that?
yeah, do we want to adopt the dress code?
Oh, you know what?
I think it should be business casual.
It should be business
Yeah.
casual. Courtesy, interruptions,
Agreed.
decorum. Point of order. 6.
Yeah, just put that,
Dress code.
adhere to the dress code described as business casual.
Or council.
Is that good for you, language?
Business,
Mhm.
meetings, council members shall.
Suppose you could get an argument as to how casual this is.
Business
Surf shop may be different than, a law firm.
attire.
But-
There, how's that?
I mean,
For council business meetings, council members should adhere to a business casual attire.
Mhm.
That good?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's good.
all right. Thank you, Harry. I had forgotten that.
Yeah, well, so the document, 64, then you turn to the next page, and it's 65 and 64.
It's getting
Wow.
confused.
Yeah, so that's why.
I don't even have page numbering on this printout that I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's
So
why.
there are a few other things, there's another one, a
As part of the dress
discussion
code, as
limit.
part of the dress code, should we address hats?
Well, yeah, I think, that's myself.
That'll be up for discussion.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay.
All right, so there's probably a few other things. Anything else there, Harry?
Not that I actually need to
I just put
address.
both of those in there.
Mhm.
And our drug and alcohol policy is the same to
Where
match the
is-
cities.
Where is
That's in
that?
the same thing.
That's in number 4,
Number
really key number 4.
The
Interruptions,
committed to the-
courtesy,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Okay,
And then you go to the next page,
discussion limit.
discussion limits. I was okay with everything. Question and answer by the member of council are not considered as speaking to the motion. Each member of council shall speak not more than 5 minutes unless granted exception by majority of the council present. And this is our rules today.
Yeah,
So,
and that's why I inserted them, because that was.
yeah, and I think, and no member of the council shall speak more than twice on the same motion, except like I said, a majority. I think that's for the most part.
These are all, see if there's anything else.
Yeah.
Voting, I did put a voting procedure there. I decided to put it in there because it was so parliamentary. So I put it in with the appendix.
Okay, is that, if, just a question,
Okay, we're at,
if the 5-minute limit,
oh, go back, I gotta get
is
back
that
there.
cumulative, or is that your first time and then 5 minutes your second time?
Well,
Because I read it, that could be cumulative,
Yeah,
and I prefer that not to be.
yeah, I would say, I would prefer it not to be either. And I think shall speak not more than 5 minutes, how about per term?
Yeah,
Not more than 5 minutes per term, that means you can speak total of 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Oh, per
we're
turn,
kinda
I
doing
get, well, okay, so I see what you're saying.
that. So the thing is, we're discussing an issue, one of us talks about it, other people put 2 points, somebody else, they have their opportunity to counter that, or argue, or agree, or whatever, and, but it's but for brevity of the meeting, or efficiency of the meeting, it's like, hey, you've got your second time, you've got your second 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
then move on to the next.
So 5 minutes per turn.
Mhm.
You know.
Let me write that in, per turn.
yeah, unless granted an exception.
Unless,
But like he said, it makes, I agree with him, it reads as cumulative, and it's not meant to be.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
The rest of it's parliamentary stuff
Yeah.
here.
It is.
And the voting procedures are the same, which I think is fine. This is the one, right of protest. The council member is never required to state reason, provided however that any member of the city shall have the right to state reason or their dissent from our protest against any action of the council. Such statement shall be noted in the minutes along with the record of the vote in the following format. Dissent or protest outside a public meeting is addressed in 503 communications, so we talked about that already.
Mhm.
Okay,
So do you want me to, did you just eliminate that, you cross that off?
yeah.
So you don't need to, you're just saying,
Well, it's
you don't
re-
need to.
Yeah, this is all-
It's all.
Yeah, it's redundant.
Okay, so I'm gonna, you just crossed out the green, but you didn't cross out the other right of protest?
Correct.
Yeah.
Cross out, okay. Okay,
And like I said, this is all,
standard.
yeah,
Standard.
there's really nothing there. I think,
So it's basically long.
the only thing that I think we could work on, maybe Harry, you and I could hash it out, is what a little dashboard kind of in theory looks like.
Okay.
While you're doing what you're doing, will that be our takeaway?
Okay.
And when we reconvene, so maybe that gets added to the document, this is basically it would contain, they could change the look and feel, but the key information or whatever would be required that we can suggest.
And so I'm a little, just a little input from my perspective on the city manager report thing. You know, here again, other boards and committee meetings, when they have the presiding officer's report, or they have the CEO's report, or the manager's report, they just pick and choose a couple things, but they don't like account for the tedium of the week, or they don't account for, you know,
Yeah.
phone calls, or, but they pick highlights from the last meeting. And most of them are monthly, right? So they'll pick highlights from the last month. And I think it would be nice to just say, well, the city, maybe we just say the city manager, we would like the city manager to pick the top three issues. And some of the issues can be something, and one issue might be something that hasn't been reported on for 6 months, but he reports out on like 3 maximum. I just don't want it to just be this long thing.
So,
No, that's why I'm saying, and so that's why I'm suggesting there's a way to get away from that.
We can
Is
talk
to have a
about-
dashboard of regular information that people see and.
Sometimes once a year, sometimes twice a year, like that, sometimes.
Well,
There's,
exactly.
there's stuff you want to know how the city's doing.
But anyway, so that's what we can do, we can work on something
Okay.
that looks like, and then put together, I mean, like I said, that I don't think we need Ann or Tim to look at. What we need is the council to look at it and go, yeah, this is it, or it's missing X or Y or Z, right?
That's good.
In the general format, and then.
So I'll go through this and kind of clean it up. What I'm going to do then is I will keep this that we marked up, just for reference. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody says, well, what did you used to have, you know, whatever, it's like,
what was there before, but I'll come up with a clean version you're saying that we should go to Tim first or
No,
Ann
we should
first?
go
I'm
to-
thinking Ann first.
Go to Ann first.
And-
No, yeah,
So that Tim, what I'm trying to do is reduce Tim's work as much as possible, but still be responsible.
I would have to say the other document, you notify them that we're ready to use the consultant and we want to forward the information. I don't think that they'll want to be included in the initial documentation because she may come back with that. You can do that and then send it to her for review. And then after she's done,
Yeah, then legal takes a look at it
Oh,
before it
legal
goes
takes a
out.
Well,
look at it.
and I
Anything
mean,
illegal.
we can touch base with you guys, though, depending on what you
yeah, well, it's possible that there's going to be a database that we need. But it really kind of depends on, I mean, she could go, this is trash, start over. Right? I don't think so, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then, I mean, that'd be a whole different situation, but
okay.
then, once we get the legal thing, when we fill that, then we'll get ready to notify it and get it out.
Okay.
And then I think it's gonna take,
Up to you.
two meetings. I really do.
Yeah, before we're ready to get it out.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Okay.
But I think when it happens, it's gonna take two meetings, it's gonna be lengthy, but obviously the thing is we'd ask all council members to read everything and be prepared for the sections they want to discuss for brevity. We can eliminate the stuff that doesn't need to be discussed by anybody. We can just move it, you know, and we'll probably just go in order like we did.
You know what I think would all be nice is when we do bring this to the table or to the dais, you know, that we have the opportunity to present it like a presentation. I mean, I'm not looking for 20 minutes, but I think 10 minutes with a few slides would at least let everybody know what a little bit of, like one or two slides of background, one or two slides of what we've done and how we've integrated.
Absolutely.
And so that a bunch of questions get answered before it starts.
So as a
And provide
member of
backup.
the ad hoc committee, our chairman would be great to create that presentation.
I can do that.
No, I'm not volunteering, but I think it's like,
No, I
okay,
like
this is what
that.
we did. We all looked at several different council
This
rules.
many cities,
In
this many people I
sections.
talked to.
We knew, we had words like telephone rather than remote now, you know, those kind of things, and that it was a good time. Social media's come out, it's never been addressed in a thing. You know, and I think you can like bring everybody to that point, but the more of the content of the body is just like every meeting, every council member is expected to review and be prepared to discuss the things either they agree with or they have issue with and why, and convince others that they agree with them. And who knows, somebody can come up with an addition that we want, that we went, oh yeah, we need to get that in there. So, and then, like I said, this is definitely a 2-meeting process. It won't be a 1 by any means. It's required by law to be a 2-meeting
Yeah,
because it's a public
Right
hearing,
now.
right? So,
right now. Unless we
so we
suspend
can.
it with 26.
Well, no, in this case, this is a case where it needs to go through the full volume of what it needs to go through. And there's, whether somebody wants it in soon or not, it ain't gonna happen because this is a major adjustment to what we had before, but it's
Well, and as
the
we go,
direction we need to go.
yeah, and as we go through it, you know, we're trying to set up future councils to help them, you know, navigate
Yeah.
and things easier for them.
I mean, we used as much of the document as we could, of the existing document. All right. So, motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah.
So moved.
All in favor?
Or second. Yeah.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Oh, and we